Good afternoon and welcome to today's Work Wonders 15-minute webinar. Today we're going to discuss the Yammer Deep Dive. My name is Kirsty McGrath and I'm a productivity specialist for DDLS. So what does the Yammer Deep Dive actually involve? Now, don't forget that we've got coming up next week our co-presenter John will be coming and having a talk with us, and he's going to take over from me. I'm going to be presenting at the Office 365 Summit next week, so if you are there, do please come and say hello. So John will very kindly take over for us next week. If you have some questions, then don't forget we've got 15 minutes at the end for you to come and type in any questions into the moderated chat, and I will answer them for you. So what are we looking at today? We're in the Yammer Deep Dive. We're going to have a look at pinning. We're going to look at some of the related groups, some information, files, notes, and announcements, how you actually do some of these, and do you have the permissions to do this as well. In your Yammer, don't forget that some of the features that you've actually got is the ability to be able to have your Yammer across any device, anywhere, anytime. Okay, you can also bring in things like put it down on your Windows phones, your iPads, so that you don't miss out on conversations as they're actually happening in real time. So whether you're online or you're on your mobile, you can keep following a conversation. You've also got your Yammer notifier, and it can sit in the bottom right-hand corner in the taskbar on your screen, and that will actually tell you as conversations come up within Yammer. I am going to go over now, and I'm actually going to share my screen with you, and we're going to get stuck into Yammer itself. Right, it'll come up in just a moment. I'm just starting that now. So when we get into Yammer, let's just have a look at what Yammer looks like. And if we're going to do some deep dive, then there's a few different things that you need to actually understand. To do something like an announcement, for example, you're not going to be able to do that unless you've got the permissions and you're a group administrator to be able to do that kind of functionality. Where we're going to start from is things like our groups. Often we'll have a conversation and you may wish to share information. When you want to do a share, so say I've got a share button down the bottom here, I can actually share a conversation and post it over into other groups or via messages. One of the things that I get asked is, I've shared a conversation, but my coworker wasn't able to see it. A lot of the times, if you're inside a private group, because you've got both public and private groups, if you're inside a private group and you share with someone else that's not sitting in the private group, they're not going to be able to come in and physically see that particular note. So it's going to be really important that you can share from public to public. You can even share from private into public because they can see out, but you can't go in reverse. So there's a few things to take into consideration. That's one of the things with working with groups. Now, as I've got a new group, more often than not, when you're creating a new group, just be careful, have a double check and make sure that there aren't any other groups that are already out there and available that you can work with. Once you're in your group, there's a few different pieces that you actually need to take into consideration. One, you're going to have to build up your group page. Things like your information. What is it that's about this group that's going to be important for others to know? So over on the right-hand side, I've got my info on the right-hand side. So this is a little bit about this particular group. So what I've done is I've gone into our User Work Wonders group. So this is the group that we use as a part of our Work Wonders sessions. So in my Users Work Wonders group, my information that sits over on the right with a link so that you can go and do some registration. Okay, I've got a message in there at the bottom. So in my info, you'll see here, I've got a join us every Tuesday for free, and I've got my little edit button up the top. So this is that bit of information about your group so that people understand when they come in what it's about. I've got some general editing and any other links that you might want to put in there, link and unlink. I'll just cancel that. So once you've dropped that in, it will come up over on the right-hand side so that you've got it as a part of your particular group. What else can we add into our group and work with? We can bring in files for others. So as we start to drop some files in, you'll see I've now got one file sitting as a part of this document, and that one file was the toolkit that was actually created. Now I can actually upload files in here for others. So if I go click on an upload, I can choose a file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my desktop, and I'm going to bring in the slides from today. So you'll see it'll upload it fairly quickly, and then once it's uploaded, it will then drop into my files. Okay, and could be where I'm trying to bring it from. I had an upload failure, unfortunately. So once it's actually in there, you'll see the files. Others will be able to edit and work with it. You can share that with others, download it yourself. You can go and see what is actually in there too. Okay. In our notes. So what are notes, and why would we use notes? Notes are, general notes about a particular site. It could be how you work together. It could be thoughts. Maybe you had a Yam Jam, and as a part of that Yam Jam, you created a whole heap of notes where you collected everyone's thoughts together, and you can start to build on those notes. So I can create a note. I can drop information in there, type it myself. Okay. So you'll see as I come in, I can link to other websites, link to persons, attach documents, and I can even link it to another note. So I'd want to give my note a name, for example. It could be Yam Jams, for example. Maybe it's how you actually do a Yam Jam. It could be any piece of information that's going to support your team. So I've got one here. That's a fairly common one. It's lessons learned from Yam Jam. You'll see this across the Office 365 network. I'm going to open that particular Word document. I could have attached it. Or another feature is I can copy and paste the information into. So I'm just do a copy, come back over, and I'm just going to paste that information now into my particular note. So once I've got that in, it's going to be a good idea that you actually publish it, because at this point it's not published. We've brought the information in, however it's not actually published yet. So I'm just going to go publish it, and what will happen now is that will flow through, and I've got my title and I can share it with others. So there's some really good pieces of information. So now if I go back out again, so if I go back home, the note's been published, there will now be a new note that others will be able to see if you're actually in our Office Users Work Wonders network. So that's getting in and understanding the notes. You can go back and view it at any particular time that you need to. So within my Users Work Wonders, let's have a look at some of the other features that we have in here. Over on the far right-hand side, I can create links. I can drop in files. I can also pin in anything that I want to have pinned for easy access for my users. So we've got the webinar sign up. I've actually provided that here. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to provide a link over on the right-hand side to the Office Success Centre. So this is our Office 365. I'm just going to go over and I'm going to copy and paste that link back over here and give it a title if you wish to. It'll drop it in if it recognises that there's a title. So I'm just going to go add it. So now what I've got is I've got 3 pinned components over on the right for easy access for my users. So this is like building that community. Get the network. Give people information that they actually need, because this will all help and support your group and help them to understand what they can find and where they can find it. So if you want to start collaborating, say, on your files and any other related groups, let's come back. We'll see if I can, the system was going a little slower earlier. Let's see if I can upload the files now. Get a chance to come in. Because I'm sharing my screen, let's see if I can get it to come up now in the upload. Sometimes when I've got some fairly heavy sharing and a lot going on, it's occasionally had some issues here. Generally it'll go up pretty quickly. So what I want to do is collaborate a little with these files, send it to another. I can also, with my file, once it's actually loaded, I can upload new versions of the file. And what it does is it actually keeps track of those files when you upload a new version. Okay? You can also have yourself marked as the official group admin within the site. I'm just going to cancel that today. Doesn't want to work for me. Okay. So once I'm back in my group, let's have a look. We'll have a look at a few more of the features over on the right here. So what else can you actually provide and post to the group? So I can post to the whole group by email, and I can only do this if I'm an administrator. So this is going to be a really important component. Not everyone is going to be able to do this. You need that administrator access. If you don't have the administrator access, you're not going to be able to dive in and be able to do that. So this will go to everyone within the group. I can go allow, and I can post it, and it comes directly from email, because I can email in and out of my group. As an email comes in, I can just actually reply to an email, and it will post it directly back into my Yammer network. So I can do it from either in Yammer or within Outlook. A lot of people don't realise that. So an announcement. So if I'm going to make an announcement, a few of the things that you need to know is you'd only want to do this if you're sharing critical or really sort of need to know information. It's going to post it out to everyone. It will come up, and you may have seen it if you're within Yammer. It will come up on the mobile phone, so it'll go directly to the screen if they've got announcements turned on. And it will send out. So let's go. An announcement. Don't forget to join next week's. We're going to be talking next week on Excel charts. Okay. I can add in any particular topics. Who do I want to post it to? So if I go add in the topic, Excel, for example, and what is it that I want to announce? Give it a heading. Excel charts. And you'll see that until I've put a heading in, it's not going to allow me to post it. So the moment I post that, what it's going to do is it's going to drive it out to everyone within the group. So I'll post that. It will come through as an announcement to all 68 members. So up the top here I can see all 68 members, and that will actually post out to everyone. So if you're within the group, you should hopefully receive that on your devices once I've posted it. So they receive it as a banner in your home feed. It will also generate an automatic email out to anyone within the network. So there's a few of the other features in regards to making an announcement. Sometimes we want to praise those that have done a really good job, those that might actually be supporting. So I could go, I'm going to praise, let's just see if we've got at Sammy. We might have to come down here and add her in. Let's see if we've got Sammy in here today. Helps if I spell correctly. Okay. And unfortunately I haven't got Sammy in here yet. But what we can do is we can actually praise someone. Thank you very much. So Bronwyn's come in. She's actually liked the message in terms of the announcement. Thank you, Bronwyn. That's going to come up on your screen. So you've got this feed, and that comes in through my Yammer notifications. So my Yammer notifications will come and will post through over on the right-hand side because I've downloaded that notifier. So I can see exactly what's going on within my groups, which is great. So get in, praise, and I might just grab Catherine. There we go. And I can say who I'm talking to. Sorry, Sammy, you're not going to get that particular at. Sammy, let's see here. Still not coming up today. Oh, well. Sorry, Catherine. Sorry, Sammy. Let's see. Okay. So once we get in there, we get our praise, we share our files, we do our announcements, post in your notes. Build up the files, build up your network, share those conversations. Get in there, build it out, and then that way everyone's got what they actually need for their sessions. So I'm going to now stop sharing. The last thing I just want to show you is some really great keyboard shortcuts. So if you're within Yammer, if you go and put in your question mark, which you're really going to have to hold your shift key down because more often than not our question mark is sitting above our slash. So do your shift key question mark. It will bring up your keyboard shortcuts and make it even quicker for you to be able to work within your Yammer grooves. Now that particular document, I will actually provide it for you. I will drop it up once I've got on there, and I'll put it in the groups and share it. So don't forget, next week we're going to be having a look at Excel charts that actually tell a story, and my co-worker John will be coming in to support you there. If you are coming back or if you've got any questions, now do feel free to post those. Ask a question now. I'm more than happy to actually answer that question for you. You can post your questions in the Users Works Wonders with Office 365 group. So if you go in there, and you can post any comments that you might actually have, or email us on 0365au2@microsoft.com. Don't forget that you can actually tell your colleagues, get them in, register. You can even download a toolkit from our website. If you go into the User Work Wonders or on the Work Wonder website, go and download the toolkit, and then you can email it out to your organisation so that others can actually join as well. Thank you very much. If there aren't any questions, I will get going for today, and I will see you in a week or so. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much for your time.